Hey, it's Julie. How are you? How is your week going? I hope it is fantastic. And if you are new to the Do Business Like a Woman community, welcome. We are super excited to have you. So, today's topic is an interesting one for our live training because we're talking about procrastination and, in particular, how procrastination can affect your business and your ability to get clients and turn browsers into buyers. So, I actually have a fresh perspective on this. And when I learned this about procrastination, this was a game changer for me. It actually unblocked me and it allowed me to move forward in my business really powerfully where I had been stuck for a number of months. So that's why I wanted to share this with you. Because I know as human beings, there are times when we procrastinate. We all do it, right? We all have intentions of what we want to do, and then it comes to the moment and we put it off, or we go and do something else and not do the hard thing, right? And people have written books about this, people talk about it. There's all kinds of tools and strategies to just eat the frog and push through it and all of that. So, with all of that going on, why is it still an issue? Why is it still so challenging for so many of us? And that's what I want to address today because I've seen that this is one of the things that can really get in the way of you taking the action that will actually lead to building your business, sales, and clients, and ultimately turning those browsers into buyers. So let's address it, shall we? Let's dive in. So, I want to share a fresh perspective on procrastination. And I actually learned this from Mel Robbins, right? The amazing Mel Robbins, who I was a bit of a latecomer to her work. I kind of got into it last year, and she was really helpful for me when I was going through some challenging stuff and I wanted to get going again. I wanted to get going with my business, the coaching side of my business, and really get back into action taking mode. And so I was listening to all of her stuff. I read and listened to her book, The 5 Second Rule. If you haven't read it, it's a good one. It's definitely worth a read. And was getting a lot from her. But in particular, I loved her take on procrastination, what it is, and an effective way to move forward. So that's what I'm going to share today. So, what she says about procrastination is that it's not a character flaw. It's not just us being lazy or can't be bothered or, like whatever it is we beat ourselves up about. She says it's actually a stress response. Wow, it's completely different to anything I'd ever heard, right? So she says it's a stress response. And when we have a lot on our minds, we have a lot going on, right? We all have a lot going on. We're your mums, right? You are parents, you are business owners, you have perhaps aging parents. Maybe you have a health condition that you're managing and you're trying to build your business. You're trying to like deal with your money and your finances and your relationship and the pets and all the things, right? It's modern life. There is a lot, right? We all feel time poor. And if you add to that a busy mind, which I have one of those, do you? I definitely have a busy mind. What we end up with is overwhelm. We end up with just feeling burned out and stressed and tired before we've even started our day, right? And what does this lead to? It leads to procrastination. Now, bear with me here because I'm going to unpack it and explain why. When you have a busy mind or you have a lot of stressors in your life and you have a lot going on, your mind is always on trying to solve those issues. So say you have some money issues or you have aging parents that you're worried about. Perhaps a parent has dementia or you have a health issue that you've been trying to heal and it's just going on and on. Or you've got kids and you're having problems with your kids. Those are significant stressors. And our minds, in the back of our minds, they're always working on those problems. They're always trying to solve it. Is it true to say that when you've got that stuff going on, it's always in the back of our minds, isn't it? To some degree. Now, not to mention if you've been through some sort of toxic or really challenging situation, or you've had something that was really upsetting in your life, that's a lot to carry. And that is when we get very busy minded, and that is exhausting. So here's what happens. Here's how this relates to business. You set your best intentions to sit down and work on your business, and you maybe even looking forward to it, but your mind is ticking away working on these problems. You've got all this stress going on. You sit down with your cup of coffee in hand. Right, you're going to work on your business, but it takes some prefrontal cortex power to actually work on your business, particularly when you are putting new habits in place. Say you are learning to implement a sales process that works. You are learning how to create and share posts that pay, content and marketing that actually moves people towards a yes. These are not skills that we just for most of us, that we just automatically have in our arsenal. It takes time to learn them. And when you are learning these things before they become a habit, it takes a lot of brain power. It's like when you're learning to drive, right? You have to think about every single thing. You have to think about the gear change, the mirror, the signal maneuver. Before you do it, you're in that, what do they call it? Unconscious incompetence stage, where it looks easy, you think you're just going to be able to do it. And then you have your first driving lesson and you're like, this is harder than I thought, right? And for a while, you're in that conscious incompetence stage of learning where you're thinking about every little thing, and it takes a lot of brain power. It's quite exhausting learning to drive at that level. That's why after a lesson you might be quite tired. Perhaps it was a long time ago when you learned to drive. It certainly was for me, but you get the point. It is the same with our business. When we are learning these skills, they feel incredibly hard. You are having to use a lot of brain power, a lot of prefrontal cortex. You are aware that you are not good at this, and that's painful, right? And it's what happens is we get a lot of negative emotions that come up. I'll give you a concrete example. Say you are learning how to engage people in the DMs and build relationships in the DMs, so that you can move people along towards saying yes to working with you. And we know that in today's market, the buyers are taking longer to make decisions. So it's all about relationship building. But say you're working on that skill in your business and it's not yet natural to you. When you sit down to do that, you have to work through a whole lot of resistance that comes up. Feeling uncomfortable, are they going to reject me? All those fears of being visible getting triggered. This is exhausting work, right? It's not just a case of sitting down and sending a DM. You've got all this emotional stuff that you're having to work through, all these negative emotions. And if your cup, your metaphorical cup, is already full because of everything else going on, guess what? Your mind's just going to be like, hell no, we don't have the space for this. This is too hard. And it's going to protect you. And it's going to protect you in the form of procrastination. Is this an aha for anyone? Give me an aha in the comments if it is. Say aha, because it was for me. And I'll tell you this, when I realized this, I was like, oh my God, thank you, Mel Robbins, thank you. Because I'm not a bad person. I'm not rubbish at this. I'm actually just, my cup is too full, right? And I'm trying to push myself to do these things when there's just no space. There's no room. The stress is too high. Whew, it was just sort of a sigh of relief, right? And so I'm going to come on to, well, what do we actually do? Because we still want to build our businesses, right? We still want to be able to do these things. And we don't want to use it as an excuse. But I wanted to just start with this because Give yourself some grace. If you've been struggling and wrestling with this, you are not a bad person. There is nothing wrong with you. This is your mind protecting you. Procrastination is a learned habit. It's a learned habit. It is a coping behavior for when everything just feels too much and you try and put another demand on your mind and say, right, come on, we're going to learn how to write copy that sells and we're going to do that. And that's no small skill. And your mind goes, hell no, we're not doing that. We're going to go and doom scroll on Facebook because it's too much and I need some stress relief. Right. Or you go and watch a cute cat video and you find yourself doing that and getting distracted because your mind is shutting down, it's protecting you. Or maybe it's the end of the day and you pour a glass of wine when you had said you were not drinking wine that night, right? Okay, so take a breath, give yourself a break. We know what it is now. We know what it is. So it's a learned habit, it's a coping behavior. But it's not serving you, right? It's not serving you. So what the hell do we do? Because life happens, doesn't it? These events, they're not going to stop. Like, was it Winston Churchill that said, life is one damn thing after another? Such a good quote. It is, isn't it? It's like it kind of never lets up in a way. And okay, there are times that are a little bit easier and times that are more challenging and times when we can be in flow, and that's great. But for most of us, that flow state, it doesn't last all the time. And we still want to build our businesses. So what the heck do we do about this? All right, I'm going to give you a 5-step plan. Here it is. Write it down, take notes. Number 1, give yourself a break, because all of that mental chatter, all of that self-flagellation, beating yourself up, is only going to add to the exhaustion. It's only going to increase the stress. And what have we just said that this is? This is a stress reaction. So the last thing you want to do is pile more guilt on and beat yourself up and why can everyone else do it and not me? Oh my goodness, we all do it, but honey, please give yourself a break. Especially, I'm talking to you if you've been through something extra hard right now, like a divorce, like, something big life event that's painful. Give yourself some grace. Give yourself a hug. I'll give you a hug, right? Because wowzers, that's what we need. We need a bit of space. That's number 1, because it's going to change how you feel and it's going to give you a little bit of space. And from that place, that's where we can move. That's where creativity comes in, not through forcing and pushing. And you'll know the difference because of how it feels. I'm not one for excuses, and I love a bit of healthy hustle. However, I've been in that place where I was dealing with some really serious, I was going to swear, but shizzle, right? Really serious stuff. And I could not get myself to do the things I knew I needed to do. I mean, look, I was doing the basic things, but it felt so hard. That was not a period of growth for me. And that was okay. But it was only once I gave myself that grace and I accepted this is not a moral failing. This is not something wrong with me. I've been going through a hard time. Give myself some grace. Now, did I want to still be productive? Yes. And we're going to get to that. So number 2, after you've given yourself that grace and you've said, okay, honey, I'm going to support you. Number 2 is find ways to reduce the stress. Now, I know it's easier said than done, right? It really is. We can't always change situations. There's a lot of stuff that is outside of our control. I get that. And what we work on is the things we can control. So for me, it was conscious breaks throughout the day. I'm not a big one for meditation. Don't know why, just never been my thing. If it's your thing, amazing. I think it's amazing. I've just never created it as a habit for myself. But here's what I do. Throughout the day, I just take a pause. Maybe I'm standing by the sink and I just take some conscious breaths and I feel into my body, connect in, just a few conscious breaths. That's one thing I do. Number two, I do yoga pretty much every morning without fail, just 10 minutes. I love it. It's a really nourishing practice. It boosts me up, it calms me down, it sorts me out. I love it. So that's another way I reduce and manage my stress. Number three, I have started doing the cold shower thing. So I've been doing it for about a month or a bit longer. So, you know, when you have a shower, just at the end, you put it on cold, and it's meant to do wonders for resetting your nervous system. In all honesty, I don't know how helpful it is, but I figure it probably is helping. I think it probably is. So I just do it anyway. And it's not pleasant, but I'll tell you what, it does seem to help. So these are little things. I go for a walk every day with my dog. I mean, she needs a walk, so have to do it, right? And then sometimes there are other things, like maybe there is a conversation that needs having. Maybe there is something that needs cleaning up. And it might not be anything to do with your business, but it's finding ways just to reduce that stress in any way you can, and without trying to be perfect about it, because life is messy. So that's number two. Number three, this is where we get more into the action phase, right? Is I used Mel Robbins' 5-second rule to get myself into action. So I'm not going to go through explaining the whole thing about the 5-second rule here. She's got free videos on YouTube about it. You can go and learn about it. She's got a whole book about it. But just real quick, it's a technique that you get yourself to move, and you count backwards from 5, and then you have to move, physically move and take action. So say you have something you need to do. Let's stick with business habits, because that's what we're talking about. You need to do your power hour. You've been putting it off. That's where you work on your business building activities, by the way, your cash generation activities. If you don't know what that is, reach out to me. We're doing it in my Turn Browsers into Buyers 60-day sprint. I can share that with you. But ultimately, you know, you need to do that, right? And you see that you're procrastinating on it. Who's been there, right? Give me a yes if you've done that. So what you're going to do is, as soon as you catch yourself, you're going to stop and you're going to count down right away. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, like a rocket launching, and then you are going to take some action. So whether that's opening up your leads tracker, or, you know, getting your butt off the sofa and sitting down at your desk and opening the laptop, but you need to physically move. And then once you're in motion, you just do the thing. It's much easier, because it's all the thinking about it that slows us down, right? But once you're in motion, once you're doing, it's like if you've got your trainers on to go for a run, you're already in motion, right? And it's the start, we all know it's the starting that's the hardest bit. So you're going to use that 5-second rule. And then number four is you are going to make new habits, because we said procrastination is a learned habit. Well, guess what? The good news is you can override that with a habit of action. Messy, imperfect, uncomfortable action. But guess what? Once you learn these business building habits that I teach and you put them into place, they become easy. Just like when you were learning to drive and it was so hard, and now you do it without thinking, don't you? You can get in the car and drive somewhere and you don't even remember driving there, because it's in your subconscious, it's on autopilot. That is how we want your business building to be. And it can, right? And so that's what I do with you inside of our Turn Browsers into Buyers Trust Building 60-day sprint. It's a super no-brainer price. At the moment it's £97. It will go up again. It's already gone up once, but that's what it is at the moment. You get tons and tons of support and value, including live coaching calls. I would love to have you in it if this is something you want to learn and internalize to the point where it becomes easy and automatic. Because that's when you get all of the clients, the momentum, the business growth, the engaged community, all of it. So you want to make new habits. And then number 5, this is a biggie. You need a simple process to follow, because when you are learning this, just like when you're learning to drive and you work with an instructor and hopefully they're good and they give you a step-by-step breakdown, they're not just going to throw you into the car and be like, right, off you go. They're going to show you first, right, this is the handbrake, these are the mirrors, this is what you need to do. And it's a step-by-step logical process. You need one of them. So you're not trying to figure this out by yourself. You're not doing guesswork. You need that roadmap. I have that roadmap. I have that step-by-step process. I use it to this day. I have it written out. I sit down, because even though for me it is pretty automatic at this point, I'm still a human being, right? And I still need that focus, that support, that accountability, as well as the process. You really want to be doing it with others, because when we do this with other people, we're way more likely to do it than sitting alone behind your laptop trying to motivate yourself. That's really hard and it's really lonely. So accountability, we want to do this with others. We want to have accountability buddies. We want to have a coach to guide you through. That is exactly what we're doing in the 60-day sprint, Turn Browsers into Buyers. Would absolutely love to have you. I'm showing you how to build a community of buyers and actually engage them through relationship, through giving them value, through building trust, because we're in a trust recession, as you know. And so how to actually do that, so that some of them are ready to say yes to working with you, to pay you, to buy your higher ticket offers. That's what we're doing. The ladies are already getting amazing results who are in already. We have had some people getting super clear on their niche and avatar and messaging, dialed in, so that they can go out there and it's not holding them back, and they can share and they know exactly who they're bringing in. Another lady who had been struggling for a couple of years went ahead and booked a sales call, so and we've got a lot more going on. We're only in week 1, right? So but you can join this anytime. That's the good news. So if you would like the details on that, I would like you to put in the comments TBIB, stands for Turn Browsers into Buyers. TBIB. Just drop that in the comments and I will get the details over to you. We'd love to have you. We're having so much fun. It's a really enjoyable, simple, fun process. Good. And we're building those business habits. So that is your 5-step plan for how to deal with procrastination when it comes up. And what have you got from today? Is that a little bit different from what you've heard before about procrastination? Let me know. I really hope that this shifts something for you and is a game changer like it was for me, because I know how painful it can be to be stuck in that place of really wanting to take action and knowing that you are ready to build this business and have a coherent sales system that makes sense and actually brings sales to your business and has you be profitable and has this be your full-time thing, but not be doing it because of procrastination and feel like there's something wrong with you, which there really isn't. So I hope that helps, my lovelies. Please give the video a heart or a like if this has been useful. Invite someone to the community to come and share and do this with us. And if you're interested in Turn Browsers into Buyers, you can DM me or you can drop TBIB in the comments. Have a good day. Bye for now.